Hi there guys, Bowlington here, and today, in recognition of 10,000 channel views and over 200 subs and growing, I thought I would let you guys go a little bit behind the scenes and see how I do my videos. As you can see here, I'm on a Mac, and I know, I really want a PC so I can actually do some real gaming. But I can live with this for now, and I bought it for school so that I can do graphic design stuff with it and all that kind of stuff. So, as you can see here, this is my desktop. It's fairly neat right now. It's normally not. I cleaned it up for this for you guys. So, I've got two files over here that you can see right off the bat, and they've EAFS Outro and EAFS 8. This is Extreme Ant Farm Survival Episode 8, which will be up. Actually, it was up on the day that I made this, so you're not going to be getting any spoilers while I talk about it. So let's open this guy up right here, and I'll show you what it looks like inside Screenflow. And this right here is Screenflow's design studio, I guess. If you're on a Mac, Screenflow is probably what you're going to be recording with. Unfortunately, it's not worth the $100 that you pay for it. It crashes constantly. This is my second attempt to record this because I got all the way to the end and I tried to copy a file over to show you how to resize stuff, and the entire thing crashed. So I'm redoing this, and we will start off right here. First thing that you're going to see here, this is what a typical track for Extreme Ant Farm Survival looks like for me. Right here, I've got my graphics. This is my sound, my microphone. This is my screen recording and all of the computer sounds. That's my game sounds, everything that you hear in Minecraft, all is coming from this file right here. So let's go up to the beginning right about here. And this is, and I will actually take the volume down, and I will get back to this in just a second. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to show you this logo. This is MG Platinum's Extreme Ant Farm logo that he includes with the map. And actually, I think you can download it from his forum page. And as you can see here, it does a very nice fade in, and then once I'm done introducing the series, it fades out. The way that you do that, if you're using Screenflow, and I'm going to take them off real quick so that I can show you how to do it from scratch, is you start here. So say you've got no graphics here whatsoever. You can either drag and drop into this window right here. This is your media panel. Or you can come down here and go to Add Media and then navigate to wherever you keep your graphics. My hierarchy is anything that has to do with the graphic is in here, and then I've got all of my other graphics in here. These are unclassified, so there's stuff just random stuff like that I've used before, and then the EAFS logo is in here as well. So then what you do is you drag it in from the media panel to right here. And this works for anything. This isn't just for this logo. Any logo like that, you can bring it in. And as you can see here, when it plays through, it will not fade in like it did before. It just pops on, and then when I'm done talking about it, it pops off. So the way that you get the really nice fades in and fades out, it's very simple. You come down here, you right-click on the file that you're trying to do. You go Add Starting Transition, and that adds in a fade. And then this Add Ending Transition adds a fade out. So you go across here and then it fades out the way it's supposed to, so it looks really nice and pretty. Very simple. Screenflow makes it very simple to do that, which is one of the few things that I have positive to say about Screenflow. So yeah, this is just a typical episode right here. As you can see here, I turned my sound all the way down. I'm going to turn it to 100% just to simulate what happens when it comes right out of a recording. So here we go. Listen to this for a second. Hi there guys, Bowlington here, and I would like to welcome you back to MG Platinum's Extreme Ant Farm Survival. Okay, so you can hear that it's very, very, very quiet. So, and then what I normally do is it'll come in here, it'll be on 100% volume, no background noise filter. So it'll be just like that once again. Hi there guys, Bowlington here, and I would like to welcome you. So the first thing I always do is I come up here, and this is because I'm using a Blue Snowball microphone. The Blue Snowball does not have very good sound volume. It's got good sound quality, and if you're using it to record instruments out of amplifiers or like acoustic instruments, drums, guitars, and that kind of stuff, it works fine. Works really good for that kind of stuff. The issue comes with the volume, and if it's really near to, say, for me, it's really near to my laptop, so my fans, you can hear my fans in the background. So now that we've boosted the volume, let's listen to it for a second. Hi there guys, Bowlington here, and I would like to welcome you back to MG Platinum's Extreme Ant Farm Survival. Okay, so that sounds a little better. It's much louder, but we've got the static in the background from my my CPU fan. So what we do is we come over here, and this is under the audio properties window. We hit filter, and I usually pick it depending on what it sounds like. My default usually is around 15 to 20. 20, you start going over 20, it starts bringing the volume of the voice down. So that doesn't work because this is the absolute maximum. Actually, you can go to 999, but it's very negligible difference. So 900% is the top, and if you start losing your vocals from there, then you're basically screwed and you can't do much about it unless you go to a third-party program like Audacity and do it from there. So that's the sound recordings. Usually from my game sounds, I'll set my game sounds really low because Screenflow records what my volume, that you can see here, records from what my system volume is, and setting it really low makes it so that you can still hear what it's going on, but it's not overpowering, especially if I'm near a mob spawner. It gets really, really, really loud, so I turn it down for you. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. Let's go down here. This is a cut. When I cut, I do the same exact thing. I do a fade out, okay guys, and then I come back. So I never put a fade in on these ones because I feel that it's unnecessary. So these are just a basic, it's got a basic ending transition, and I've right-clicked on the transition itself to show you what the options are for an ending transition. You've got very subtle ones like the cross dissolve, which is what I normally use because, like I said, it's subtle and it looks pretty good to me. But you've got some more dramatic effects like the cube here, melt, and spin are some of the ones that right off the top of my head are very dramatic, and they don't really work for this situation for coming in and out of cuts. So having done this and showed you how it goes on in just a typical episode, I'm going to focus on these files over here, but I'm not going to focus on them in this window. I'm going to open up my second file over here, which is my Extreme Ant Farm Survival outro. And let's just watch it real quick, and we'll see if you can recognize it. Okay, so yeah, that's my outro. Basically what makes it up, and I'm just going to pull this off screen because we already know what's on there. It's made up of all of these files right here. These three right here are text files along with this one and this one. These two are PNG graphics of my avatar, which is my old avatar, which I might change. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's these guys right here. And the way that I the way that I took these pictures is I went into Minecraft and I built, I believe I used black wool. No, I used white wool because I've got dark colors in this. I built a corner, so I built a corner to stand in out of black wool with a black wool floor around me right about here, and then walls of black wool around me there. Then what I did was I took a screenshot, a high definition screenshot of that, took it into Photoshop right here, and went around it, zoomed in very, very far, probably like 400%, and went around the edges and went pixel by pixel by pixel by pixel all the way around so that you get this nice high resolution nice high resolution image, even though the skin itself is very low resolution. So if you want to have really high resolution smaller graphics like this, start big and then bring them down. So the screenshot I shot of this guy right here was in 1080p, and what I did when I went into Photoshop was I edited in 1080p and then I exported it as a 720p high def picture file. And I know that 720 and 1080 are basically video resolutions, but if you want the real resolution, it's 1920 by 1080 for the large file, and then 720 I believe is 1024 by, no, that's not right, it's I I think it's 1200 by 1200 by 900 or something like that. But you get the idea. I pretty much illustrated my point. But when I designed this one right here, you'll see that the background moves. So you can see it right here. This is just the background. This is a video that I shot in the first, I think it was between the first and the second episodes of the series, and it's just basically me with F1 mode on, panning around, looking at the ant farm, and I put it into the background so that it adds contrast between the visual elements because it's a lighter color right around in here, and it also makes the lettering stand out because I've put a black border around all of the letters, and we're using high contrast here, so it's high contrast white against the neutral colored background, and then we've got high contrast white and high contrast red against the background. When I designed this, I started with the background. First thing I did was put the background on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the wireframes on this so that you can see what it's made up of. And this is my entire outro, what it looks like when you have everything highlighted. Each one of these is a modifier for the particular file that makes it up. So when I made this outro, I started with the background, then I put the audio in, which is Queen of the Rodeo by Machinima Sound, and you can find that for free, royalty-free, at machinimasound.com. If I remember, I will put a link in the description so that you guys can get at that, because they have lots of very good royalty-free music that can be used in any of your YouTube projects. And that's a little plug for them because I really like their stuff. And what I did next, so I've got this and this. That's my background and my soundtrack. Then I came through and I put a title at the top. So just Extreme Ant Farm Survival in my favorite font for Minecraft stuff, Logocraft. So if you're looking for a good Minecraft type font for videos or graphic design or any of that kind of stuff, Google Logocraft. Logocraft, it's L-O-G-O Craft. And it's a free font, should work on Windows and Mac. I know for a fact it works on Mac, and I haven't tried it on Windows, but I'm like 98% sure that it works on there. So, once I have the title at the top here, I came down to the bottom and put my channel name. Then I was able to put graphics on the side, because Screenflow is very smart. It can tell you, and that's another thing that I can really give them credit for, is that Screenflow is pretty smart. So you see these white guidelines that pop up when I start moving my file around. They are guidelines that this one right here is the exact center of the page, and it's lined up with this one, with the title, and with my channel name. So what you're going to want to do before you start making anything intricate, start simple, background, then put your title at the top, get it centered, and then work from there. So center, put it in, center, put it in, center, put it in, and then space your graphics accordingly to that. Then the next thing I did was I put the previous and the next episode text in here, and then I put the videos on top of that. When I do a new episode and I come through and do this, I have a pretty good process that I've come up with that allows me to size them perfectly and basically not have to move the file at all. So the file's already sized and it's in the same place. So say that I'm going to update my previous episode to the newest episode of Ant Farm. What I'll do is I will drag it through its track all the way out here so that it's clear of the rest of the stuff, and you can only see that. I basically am isolating this file. Then what I do is I will bring a recording down from up here, and as you can see here, this screen recording, let me go ahead and take the sound down. This screen recording comes in with the full sound, and you can see that it's full screen. This is one of the ones that comes off of YouTube. All of my previous videos at the end of my outro, come from YouTube. They're in 720p when I put them on there. All of the next episode videos are in 1080p, because the next episode videos I shoot right after I film an episode of Ant Farm. And then I bring them right into here, and I size them down, which I will get to in just a second. So what we do here once we drag this stuff in is you notice that it's too long. It's too long. There's too much stuff going on. So it goes way, way, way past what we need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the point in this video that we think is a really good start, that's kind of an interesting thing to see when you're catching it in a thumbnail. and that's the reason. That's the way that I do this. So yeah, let's stop it right about here, and then we're going to split the clip at playhead, which will basically slice this in half. And it's the slice command for any of you Final Cut Pro guys that do that. So now we've got a file that's a little bit closer. It's starting in the right place, and you can see us going through here. And well, that's a little bit too much, so I'm going to split the clip again and bring it back down to line up with this one. And then now that we've got a good clip that starts right here, I'm going to go back to the end here. I'm going to trim it off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to match the style of this recording that's right here. And I'm going to add a starting transition, and I'm going to add an ending transition. So now, in essence, they basically look the same on the scrubber down here. And what we're going to do next is we're going to size it. One of the things, the rules of thumb to keep in mind, pretty much with any program I've dealt with, be it Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, Screenflow, any of that stuff, is the files that are on top are the ones that are visible. So you can see I'm moving it up in the timeline, and it basically puts it on top of this file. So then I bring it back down, and it goes away. So what we need to do is we need to crop this size down, or crop this video down so that it's the same size as this one, that little box right there. The way that we do this is we use two of Screenflow's integrated tools. The first one is, it's crop. And the way that you crop is you hold the control key on your keyboard, and pull the sidebars down. Then you're going to want to do it on the bottom. So you're going to want to bring it to right about there at your border. And then you're going to want to completely resize it to make sure that it's at its full size and it covers the entire canvas. This is important for making sure that everything lines up, and it makes the quality better in the end. So we're coming from this, and like I said before, when you want to do high definition graphics, start big and bring them down. So this right here is a 1080p. This size from this corner to this corner is 1920 by 1080. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down. This is the next tool I wanted to tell you about. You hold shift. This is the scale tool, and the scale tool brings it down evenly, no matter on just on the two axes. It doesn't actually modify it another way. So that's using with the scale tool. I'm going to take the scale tool off and just use it this way and show you what happens. See, now I can sit here and do this, and it loses the aspect ratio and really contorts the video. So when you want to have high definition, small size thumbnails like that, scale it down, and then now it's pretty good. It's looking pretty good, but there's some minute size differences, as you can see with the yellow line right there on the top and on the bottom. So what I always do is I align the left-hand corner with it, and then this is where it's okay to just click and drag. So now it's low, it's smaller than that. Start low, bring it out, and then Screenflow will automatically fill in the gaps for you. Then all you have to do is drag it back down over in here into the timeline of the outro overall, and let's see what we've done here. Yep, so that looks pretty good, and now it's the same size as the one over here, and it's positioned in the same exact spot, because what we were doing, we were not actually moving the file. So when I click on between the two of them here, you can see that the borderline does not actually change, because these are basically occupying the same space on the same level, but this one comes before it in the timeline. So you can see here that this is the file that we put on there that we modified. You come over here and then it changes to this file. So just keep that in mind when you're modifying stuff. And actually, let me bring that back, because this is the one that I originally had for this one. So yeah, that's basically how I do the outro, and that's what I do at the end of every episode to make sure that the outro is working correctly. One thing that you'll notice right here is that I've got this gap between the actual recordings and the rest of the files. So in Extreme Ant Farm Survival, the other file will end where I sign off and it goes dark. will start right here. It will start at the playhead right there. And the way that I have it set up is so that there's a gap here so that this background and the music have time to fade in. So if you watch it closely, you'll see that all of these elements above the background and the soundtrack don't fade in for about a half a second. So watch it closely. Alright, did you see it? I'll show it one more time. Yep, so that's the way I do that. And then when you paste all of this in, you'll go copy and paste all the way down. Just do it that way. And when you put the playhead at the end of your file in your own videos, remember that it will not paste to this. It won't paste to here. It will paste all the way to the first file that's in the timeline. Remember that. It will save you some time. I absolutely guarantee that. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys for as far as recording Extreme Ant Farm Survival. I think I'm going to show you what Last Aviator looks like as well. So let's see if we can't find that. Okay, so here we go. It was in a different spot than what I expected. So this is what an episode of Aviator looks like. There's much more editing. There's much more cutting. We've got the microphone sounds up here. So yeah, unlock that. So we've got the sound files up here. This is me talking, narrating over the top of everything. We've got our soundtrack right here. So we've got a Summer Rain on a loop all the way through that fades to Prelude in Action. And then at the end, I don't remember which one this one is. So let's take a look here at the end of one of the Last Aviator episodes. Some kind of temple. There he is. Stop! Now, I want some answers. No, stop! Come here! Oh, boy. Sorry, I really like that ending song. I always like to hear that. So basically, that's what this is what the timeline looks in here. The editing process is basically the same, just the cutting and the clipping. In this one, I've got more actual shots of using Camera Studio. So, and I think I can show you one right. Yep, here we go. This is Camera Studio. Hopefully, grow some food. Alright, this is Camera Studio in action right here. Oh, damn these vines. They grow faster than I can cut them. Alright, so you can see that my character here, the Aviator, is moving while I'm recording. The way that I do this is I have two machines set up. I use my old Mac Mini as the character moving. I've got two screens set up on my desk. Actually, I've got three screens. Two for my Mac Pro or my MacBook, and one for my Mac Mini. The Mac Mini is the one that controls the character when he walks around, and I record with my Mac Pro using the Camera Studio all the way across. So that's the way I do that. So I can film a lot of this by myself, but there's a lot of other scenes and stuff when it starts getting more complex, which it will. I'm planning on really expanding the series and having some new stuff come into it in the near future. But that's pretty much how I do Last Aviator. I might do a video on Camera Studio if you guys really want me to, because Camera Studio is a fantastic mod. It really makes filming in Minecraft a lot simpler. If you were wondering about how I did the scrolling credits at the end, did it in Final Cut Pro. And I'll open that real quick and show you this one. And I think... Yep, and then I'm going to make this video end off here pretty quickly because it's gone for about a half hour, and I think that's about all you guys want to watch. So I will show you this quickly, and then I will sign off. And I hope that you guys have found this, some of you Mac guys, up-and-coming commentators like myself, find this stuff useful, especially with the Screenflow, because Screenflow can be a very finicky program. And it still is, it always will be, because I've only gotten one update for it ever, and I've owned it for about a year. So this is the way that we do it here. This is the credits, and that's really nice that it popped them up at the beginning. So you'll see here, this is one of the things of, they're called titles in Final Cut Pro. Basically, you drag it out onto the timeline, and then you can edit. Actually, if I stop it right here, I can click in and basically edit the text all the way down. So yeah, that's the way that I do that. The way that I record it, I don't actually export any of this stuff out of Final Cut Pro because it takes too long and it's too resource intensive. I actually cheat and just use Screenflow. I go full screen, just like this, and then I'll hit my my starting macro for Screenflow and let it go. Just like that. So I'll start at the top and record it all the way to the bottom, and then go out. Which is why it's got that little, there's a little bitty tiny artifacting around some of the letters that you probably will notice. But I'm going to work on getting that out. I believe that I can sharpen that in Final Cut Pro and make it in a higher definition before I put it into Aviator. So yeah, that's the way I do that. We've got I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to cover. Got Screenflow, Final Cut Pro, Aviator. I have the Adobe suite on here, so I've got all of my Adobe programs on here, namely Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects is cool for video effects, Dreamweaver web design, Fireworks for web design mockup and graphics, just all the Adobe suite. And then for some of my music, if you guys are interested in that, I know a couple of you are, I have Native Instruments, which is Reactor. No, it has Reactor is what I meant to say because I saw the word. It's got all of these files. This is a synthesizer. This is a drum machine, another synthesizer, guitar recording program, automated musician program. Massive is a synthesizer that is really good at doing dubstep. It can make some of the really, really filthy wobbles that you hear in dubstep. And Reactor and Contact are two other design suites for music. As far as recording and laying my music out, and actually, okay, so here we go. This is, I just took a pause there for a second to find my file. This is the raw Ableton Live file for Creeper's Gonna Creep. So I'll play a little bit for you to prove it. Yep, so that's Creeper's Gonna Creep. This is what it looks like in Ableton. This is the entire song from start to finish. So it starts here and then comes all the way down. It's you can see on the timeline down here, it's 0 to 3 and 45 seconds or so. I use Ableton because it's a really good program. It's really visual based and you can learn it pretty easily. Over here, I've got all my synthesizers and my drum machines and everything like that. My effects. I've got all of my effects through here. And then I can come down to here, and this, where is it? It's this one right here. And these are all of my, where'd they go? It's in here somewhere. These are all my sound files, all of my loops and my beats and everything like that. So I can just drag them in and modify them, cut them, slice them, change the volume, change the gain, change all that kind of stuff. So that's how I do it. That's what I use. But I'm going to call it a day here. I think this is probably information overload at this point. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this. Some of you guys that are trying to record on Mac, doing music on Mac, doing machinimas, Minecraft, any of that kind of stuff. Hope that you have found this helpful. I'm pretty much keen to answer any questions that you have about any of this stuff. So be sure to leave any questions you have in the comments for this video, and I will get back to you and answer them as best I can. So for today, this is Bowlington, signing off.